Hello and welcome to the channel. You are tuning in to Tesla Truths. This is the YouTube channel where we give you all things Tesla technology, lots of great conversations with Grok, but most importantly, you are going to get a cockpit view of full self-driving from the driver's seat of our 2023 Tesla Model X. We are running FSD 13.2.8, and today we are on a journey from Denton, Texas, up to Kansas City, Missouri. This is quite the haul. We are currently sitting over here at the Cornerstone car wash in Denton. If you're looking for a car wash in Denton, that is the one to go to. It's touchless, which I highly recommend. So if we take a look at our route here, we plugged this into our navigation. A lot of twists, a lot of turns. Our first Supercharger stop is in Gainesville, Texas, followed by Perry, Oklahoma, and then Emporia, Kansas, arriving finally at our hotel in Kansas City, Missouri at about 11:30 tonight. So we'll see how true that turns out to be. That's a little longer than I expected. If I look at this in Google Maps, I think it's maybe 8 hours. Nah, it's pretty close. It's a little longer. I do plan on eating somewhere along the way, so we'll see how that goes. When I stop at the Superchargers, I'll probably pause the video, and then when I come back in, I'll give you a recap of how long we charged, what the cost was. I don't know yet if I'm going to create one big video. That's going to be a lot of hours and a lot of just stuff. So I don't know. We might break it out. We'll see what it looks like. And with that, let's get this party started. And away we go. So we could have cut across here and done a U-turn right here to get going back down, but Tess has decided to take a right here and kind of cut through. It looks like this neighborhood. And this is a stop sign, unprotected left turn, so probably not a decision I would have made if I were driving. I like to use lights. It makes my life easier, but in full self-driving, I don't have to worry about that as much anymore. And so the road that we'll be coming up to here to cut across is Loop 288. And I can't remember if it's 2 or 3 lanes, but it's either 2 or 3 lanes in both directions. So just depending on the traffic situation, you see we don't have a light here. It's a stop sign. So Tess is going to have to check left and right to make this cut through here. And traffic's very light on the left and very light on the right. So we made it nice and easy for FSD that time. No problem. When I originally plugged in the route this morning, our first Supercharger stop was Oklahoma City. So we were going to run from Denton to Oklahoma City on up into Kansas and then Kansas City. So just 2 Supercharger stops. I think this is between 600 and 700 miles. I'll check for sure. But I had to do a little bit of running around before I got on the road and ate some mileage. So it automatically added that 3rd stop in there, which tells me that as you are traveling on your road trip, if you consume more energy because you're going insane in insane mode and driving 100 miles an hour, or you have your HVAC super high or whatever the situation might be, you're using more energy than what the original route thought, it will kind of recalculate and add superchargers as needed along your route. We are in standard mode. There are 3 modes: chill, standard, and hurry. If you've seen my previous videos, you know that I prefer standard in the city and hurry on the highway. So you'll likely see me kind of make those transitions between the drive modes. And the reason that I prefer standard in the city is because it's been my experience that FSD makes more mistakes in hurry than in standard. And what I mean by mistake is missing a turn, things of that nature. Nothing critical. A lot of this route, I think, is going to be a lot like this. So probably nothing extremely exciting. We'll see what kind of happens. We will be going through Oklahoma City, so that'll be fun. But primarily a lot of, highway driving, back road driving through the state of Oklahoma. So it should be a pretty relaxing ride. We're cruising along 66 miles per hour in a 60 mile per hour zone, which is comfortable. I did find a little phone mount that I like to put up from time to time. It's a little suction cup. It comes off pretty easy. I haven't really found a better way to do it in the Model X. I don't like big clunky things attached to the screen. To be honest, I rarely use it. The biggest reason that I got it was for our conversations with Grok. As you know, FSD does not like for me to be fiddling around with my phone. So I put it up here kind of out of the way, and then I have easy access to activate Grok voice. And so that's always fun. And teaser, we're going to be doing Uber in the near future, and we're calling it the Tesla Truths Model X Uber experience. And I actually, I was thinking through this a bit, and the whole purpose of that is to continue to kind of share this FSD experience with people who haven't experienced it before. We believe that it is amazing technology, and we think more people should know about it. So we're going to Uber, and we're going to get out there in the community and give people an opportunity to experience full self-driving, as well as the Model X. Not a lot of people have been in the Model X, which is a really cool, extremely unique experience. So that'll be really fun. And the other day, I thought about things that I could do to continue to or add to the experience. So I thought it would be really neat if I had a tablet on the headrest for the rear passenger, and it's just a white screen that rotates through random Tesla facts. So that is how TeslaTruths.com was born. And the purpose of that website is to host that page. And then I thought it could do more. So the landing page of TeslaTruths.com, this might age me a little bit, but there used to be, way back before Google, or I guess you could even think of Google, there was this search engine called Ask Jeeves. And it kind of looks like that. It's got the Tesla Truth logo in a search box. Beneath that, it says powered by Grok. And so what I did was I integrated the website with Grok, and you just ask a Tesla question. It goes out, it grabs that from Grok, and it feeds it back to you. So any Tesla related question that you want to ask, you can just go there and enter it, and it's going to ask Grok and then give you the answer. But on the menu, if you click on the facts page, it's going to take you to that blank white screen with the rotating facts. And right now we've got about 600 facts in there that it'll rotate for. So when we have passengers in the car, they can see that and read those facts and learn those things, facts and busted myths, right? So there's a ton of misinformation about Tesla, about the technology, about what it can and cannot do. And people just spread a lot of misinformation about it. And I don't know, I guess I kind of got a little tired of hearing all of the misinformation. I thought there's an opportunity here to share information with people. And that's how Tesla Truths was born. And that's our mission. We want to get out there. We want to share these videos with you so that you can see and experience FSD and how it performs in different situations. And then the Uber thing is just I couldn't think of a better way to get people in my car and kind of force feed FSD to them. So we're looking forward to that opportunity and sharing those experiences with you on the Tesla Truths YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that. All right, hitting Interstate 35 north. This should take us out of Texas and into Oklahoma, probably in about an hour. We'll go ahead and put old Tess in hurry mode here. I appreciate hurry mode on the highway because I want FSD to be assertive. I want FSD to drive fast. And it's just, it's a speed and configuration that I'm comfortable with on the highway. We will have timestamps and chapters in the description. So I expect that we'll probably see some pretty heavy traffic in the Oklahoma City area. So look for that in the timestamp if you want to see how FSD handles heavy city traffic situations. We should get some of that. And then of course, I'll put other interesting things in there that happen along the way. Dodged a deer in Durant. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I've never seen the route have me stop at a supercharger with 55% battery remaining, which tells me that there's a long leg in Oklahoma with no superchargers. I could be making an incorrect assumption. I don't know. We are cruising right around the speed limit, slowing down a little bit because traffic in front of us, and the driver behind me is not thrilled about that. The Tesla will sometimes move out of the way of faster moving traffic. I think the condition that has to be true in order for that to occur is that we don't put ourselves in a position where we would slow down. This car here is moving quite slow. So the Tesla's not going to move out of the way, and he backed off a little bit, so that's good. I was watching some of my old, I say old, we're a new channel, older than today videos. And I noticed that sometimes when I reach out to touch things, I use my middle finger. And I thought, well, that looks dumb. I wonder why I do that. And then it occurred to me, well, it's the longest one. That actually just makes sense to use that instead of the pointer finger. So I'm seeing kind of at the base of the windshield, that's why I keep turning the wipers on, a very shiny, reflective mark. And I think I might have a little, I don't know if it's anxiety, but I am somewhat concerned about the windshield on this car. It's a big, massive piece of glass, so I imagine it would be extremely expensive to replace this. So anytime I hear a rock chip or I see something like that, it makes me a bit nervous. So I'll take a closer look at that when we stop up here in Gainesville for our first bit of juice. We are preconditioning battery for fast charging. I don't know if that means if it's heating it or cooling it. Hopefully, I remember to ask Grok later when we go into our conversations with Grok. Nice work. Finally had an opportunity to move around the slow driver there. I say slow driver, he's probably driving the speed limit. Coming up into a construction zone here where the speed limit drops down to 65. FSD keeping us in the 80s. One of these days, I'm going to get a ticket. There's no question. I am going to go ahead and back the speed off a little bit. I'm going to leave it in hurry, but I'm going to drop the speed down to 70 because I think that it's important in construction zones. You've got people out here working. I have family members that are in construction. So we'll do that to respect their workspace, try to keep them a little safer. FSD likes to wait until about the last second before it gets over for its exit. And I'm actually not even certain that we'll have an exit because of the construction. We'll see what this looks like here. So we do. Fantastic. I didn't want to miss it. So I threw on the turn signal and said, hey, FSD, get over. Let's go. All right, we are pulling into our first supercharging stop of the day. We are going to get parked, plugged in here, and we'll get back out on the highway. Interesting. Ah, there it was. Huh. That was a bit more challenging than it needed to be, I think. I like to use auto park. This is like, that's how lazy I'm getting. The car does a phenomenal job in auto park. What it does not do is it does not transition from FSD to auto park very well. So it's not there yet, but it will be. It will be. All right, so let's see here. I said FSD does a fantastic job in auto park, and this is the first time I've ever seen it kind of struggle. So I'm gonna take it. I don't know why it's struggling. It's fine. It's the spot is fine. So let's yeah, we're gonna stop it. There's no reason to continue that silly game. We'll just, yeah, this is fine. I don't even think that. In fact, we'll pull up a little bit here. Okay, so here we are. Now let's take a look at what's going on in our trip here. So this is going to be a 13-minute charge, but that's an interesting thing. So it says negative 13%. I imagine what'll happen is it'll charge and then update that. So we are no longer stopping in Oklahoma City. We're going to go to Perry, Oklahoma, and then Emporia, Kansas. Okay. And our arrival time is currently 11:31, which is pretty close to what we started out at. I think it was 11:27. So we'll see how it goes from here. Okay. So we are going to get charged up here, and we'll get back out on the road here in a moment. At the Supercharger in Gainesville, spent a little bit more time in there than I had planned. I went ahead and had an early dinner, right? So taking a look at a couple of things here, we did charge for 23 minutes. The route called for 13, but like I said, I grabbed an early dinner. They delivered 22.7 kilowatt hours for a total cost of $7.26. They charged me 32 cents per kilowatt hour. So not terrible, $7.26. And then looking at our route here, let's take a quick look. It looks like it did make some changes on the supercharging. We are going to go to Oklahoma City over there on 36th Street. And then we are going to stop in El Dorado, Kansas. We will be arriving at our destination with 10%, which should be fine. This hotel is supposed to have chargers. I hope that's the case. We will find out. Our new arrival time is 11:43 p.m. We added about 20 minutes, which checks out. That's about how long it took for me to eat my early grub. So with that, let's go ahead and get this party started. So there was an object in the road there. Nothing serious, a little bit of trash it looks like. FSD made no attempt to go around it, and that's been my experience. So potholes, trash, it does not yet navigate around those things. If you're wondering, the shiny thing in the bottom corner of the windscreen there is not a crack. There's just a shiny piece of material tucked into the dash up there. I can't quite reach it. I'll need to get it. I'm not sure what it is, but it's not a broken window. So there's that. We are 2 hours outside of Oklahoma City. I kind of like the Supercharger stretches. It breaks the trip up a bit. So I've got 2 hours to go to my next stop, and then from there, another couple of hours, and so on and so forth. It is 4:05 p.m. Let's take a look at our weather here in Gainesville, Texas. Looking like a sunny afternoon. Looking good. 0% chance of rain. Now, the rest of the week up in Kansas City, it's going to be overcast and rainy, so not very good. We should see some pretty good footage coming into Kansas City tonight. It'll be night, so we ought to capture the skyline there all lit up. It'll be nice. Okay. That bug is on the outside of the car. So as excited as I was about getting it done, I can't believe I forgot to tell you all. I did get all of the windows in the Model X tinted. I'm going to do kind of an outside walk around to show what that looks like. But from here, you probably can't tell that they're tinted. So let me walk through that a little bit. On the front windshield, we went with a 70% tint. And this is all ceramic. And its purpose is to block UV rays and help keep the cabin cooler, which I can say is true. It does do that. So 70% tint on the front. You can tell from the outside looking at it that it's tinted. It's not blacked out. You can still see the passengers looking through the front windshield into the car, but not clearly. It is shaded, and it does provide some privacy. Now, for the rest of the windows, driver, passenger, falcon wing door, driver, falcon wing door, passenger, and the back glass, we went with 20%. The back glass came with a factory tint, so we overlaid it on top of that. So the rear passengers in the back glass look darker than 20%. You can barely see through the back at all. The reason that I went with 20% up here, and I'll have to check, but I think legally you can go to 25%. So we're illegal, but I didn't want to do 10%. I did that on my previous vehicle, and it makes it very difficult to see out of the windows at night. We'll go ahead and bump our max speed back up to 85 here. We are out of construction. Back on the I-35 and 136 miles to go to get to Oklahoma City. We'll have 30% charge once we get there. I don't remember how long we are supposed to sit there. We'll take a look. 15 minutes. So a short stop in Oklahoma City. Am I the only one that struggles with this? Like, I have such a... This should be more pronounced. Tesla, UX. It's hard for me to slide that. I want it easier to slide up and down. I'm always dragging the map. It does a good job of recentering, so it's really not a problem. But I have a hard time with that. So I had a chicken sandwich from Golden Chicken. It's the first time I've ever eaten at Golden Chicken. And it was good. It was good. It was what was there, attached to the gas station where the Superchargers were. And it was good. I can't complain. I enjoyed it. I would eat it again. I might have been wrong about the construction zone statement. It looks like we're still in it. I feel a little less guilty if I'm going with the flow of traffic. So we'll just stick with that. I haven't found a way to set any kind of a follow distance. I don't know if that's an option. Sometimes I do wish that I could tell it to back off of a car. Usually I don't like driving behind trucks, big trucks. I've had some bad windshield experiences there. So I prefer to not be up close to a bigger truck or a trailer. And I wish that FSD would allow me to tell it that. Don't get close to trucks like that. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and back it off. We are very clearly in this construction zone here. And I would like to give them a break. So we'll slow it down to 70. Just kidding. I don't know why it automatically went back up on me there. It's never done that before. But let's take it back down to 70. I think, you know what, and I might experiment with it too. I think I could just bump it over into chill mode. I think chill mode, as a matter of fact, we're on a long road trip. Let's try it. So we'll put this guy back up to 85. That's our max. FSD is going to take full advantage of that. And if I put it over in chill mode, there's standard, and then chill immediately gets over, or it could be a coincidence. And it's gonna walk way back down. So maybe that's the better solution. I don't know. Maybe the speed limit control is for a quick, hey, I need to bump this down, 5 miles per hour for whatever reason. But we'll rock in chill mode here for just a second to see how it behaves and get out of construction here. It's reading the speed limit as 75, but I believe that's incorrect. Yeah, 65 here. Let's see if it picks that up. Nope, it doesn't. So it's still picking up the GPS data rather than reading the speed limit on the road there, which is unfortunate. So I just noticed an interesting thing. I went over here to adjust the passenger side fan. I wanted to aim it at the camera, and they're not there because there's no passenger in the car. So maybe I can just point mine. Oh, I lied, it's here. But usually they have, come on. Yeah, there we go. Over here on our right, we have the casino. Which is a thing that I enjoy to do sometimes for entertainment purposes only. Okay. No, I guess so I'm still seeing construction signs, so we'll let it chill out and chill mode for a little while longer. Just trying to feel that airflow and see if it's coming up here to the camera. I do have the battery in the camera, but I also have a USB-C cable plugged into it. And the reason that I have that set up is because I have the Sarasonic 500 Blink, I think it is, plugged into the USB port on the side of the camera, which is the only way that I have figured out how to get it to work. And it seems that when the battery's out of it, the mic adapter that I got does not do a good job of transferring power to the mic. Something's not working quite right. I'm not able to get the external mic to work without the battery in the camera. So we have the battery in it, and I can feel that it's a little warm. So we'll see what that looks like. The FSD Nag is a thing that I find annoying. I agree with it. I think currently that you should be paying attention to the road. You shouldn't be on your phone. But it got really upset with me a minute ago when I was trying to adjust the climate control there. Now, you can do a lot of that with your voice. I can set the temperature with my voice. Maybe I can set the vents with my voice. I'll have to experiment with that a little bit, but I think I should have a little bit more grace than what it gives. If you're, for a few seconds adjusting media, temperature, maybe 5 seconds, 10 seconds. Yeah, so chill mode is chill. It's very chill. We're tugging along here at 65. Is that my end road work? Fantastic. Let's go. Back to hurry. Max speed. FSD immediately transitions into the fast lane, and we are ready to rock and roll. Let's go, Oklahoma. We are doing 85 and the posted speed limit is 75. I have traffic coming up behind me, not very aggressively, but enough to let me know they are there. Let's see if FSD decides to move out of their way. Doesn't look like it, but they're not very close. You can see here, quite a ways off. FSD, I think, likes for them to be a little bit more aggressive before moving out of the way. If I were driving, I might just go ahead and do that. It's interesting. I don't know if in the video you can see in the rear view mirror or not, but they look a lot closer in the rear view mirror than they do in the camera here. So yeah, I don't see a clean opportunity for FSD to be courteous here. I think we're just going to keep trucking along with the flow of traffic here. All right, traffic moves out of our way. We're going to get it back up to 85, creating a little distance between us and the car behind us. In Oklahoma, we do have PikePass, which is their toll road authority. We live in the Dallas area, so we have NTTA. I've been told that NTTA works on PikePass. The interesting thing is I have not yet put the NTTA toll tag on the windshield, so there's nothing for it to scan. But I think we're going to run it anyway and see what happens. We might get pulled over. I don't know. We'll find out. Actually, now that I think about it, it might all be pay by mail these days. I'm not sure. Oklahoma is notorious for speed traps. And I don't run a radar detector in the car because they are annoying. That's the only reason. They are very annoying. And no thanks. So the car behind us is far enough back. I don't know whether or not they want to pass, but this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell FSD to move over, and FSD does. We're going to hang out here for a second and see if that car passes, which it looks like it's going to do. And once it does, FSD should get back over. So sometimes I will do the polite thing and move out of the way. Sometimes FSD will do it. choosing to hang out in the right lane here for a little bit, but FSD will navigate around the slower moving traffic here in just a moment. Check our max speed setting. Yeah, we're at 85. So it's interesting that we're hanging out at 80, 82, 83. We're going to hit Oklahoma City Supercharger with 31%, which is enough. So I don't know why we're not at 85. I don't know what things dictate that. I had kind of had this theory that it had to do with, battery preservation, but that doesn't seem to be the case here. We're just kind of hovering around 80. Interesting. So I think this is just my theory, I think FSD wanted some flow of traffic happening there. So now that we've got some cars moving faster, it's ticked up to 85 here. That's a topic that I'd like to dive into with Grok here in a bit, which is kind of FSD technology and AI. I want to learn a little bit more about the brain behind all of this. Probably save that for after Oklahoma City. Up here in a little bit, we'll be passing by a windmill farm, which is quite the sight. So 85, and this guy's just wanting to drive much faster than that. I think that I would be okay with FSD driving faster than 85 if the conditions were right. Like this would be a scenario where I think it would probably be pretty safe. All right, so traffic kind of choosing to go around. I was going to move over. stayed in a Hilton in downtown Austin over the weekend, and they also had EV chargers, which was nice. Saturday, when we got back to the hotel, all the stalls were taken, so we weren't able to charge Saturday night. Oklahoma and Missouri are pretty strict on the left lane being for passing only. I have been pulled over for that in the past. In this part of the country, these superchargers are about 32 cents per kilowatt hour. That's what I've observed, and that's Texas, North Texas, Dallas area, Houston, Texas City, Austin. I learned today that using superchargers excessively can degrade the battery faster. Now, I don't know what excessively means. We have a level 2 charger at home, which is how it's charged most of the time. But obviously on road trips, we use superchargers pretty heavily. I've noticed a vibration kind of in the yoke here. I don't know. If you have a yoke in your Tesla, let me know. Do you see the vibration in FSD? There doesn't seem to be any other problem. And there's no vibration if I grip the yoke. I almost said wheel. The yoke. I really do enjoy driving with the yoke. I do feel more in control when I'm steering with it. It takes a little getting used to because you don't have the top portion of it. But I really like it. And I love the buttons on here. A lot of people, when the Model 3 refresh came out, complained heavily about there not being stocks. And I was disappointed to see the new Model Y add them back. This, to me, makes much more sense than having to reach for a stock. Like in my wife's Audi, there are like 4 stocks. And so, of course, you learn that. You learn what they are and what they do and where all of the controls are. Adaptive cruise control, lane control, your windshield washer or windshield wipers, your rear wipers, your headlights, all these things are here. And if that's your only vehicle, fine. But like if you have another, like if your spouse has another car and the Yoke or the stock configuration, you have to remember 2 different vehicles, and then you have to remember which vehicle you're in, and it's messy to me. Everything that I need is right here. Here are my headlights, my horn. A lot of people complain about that. I'm not a heavy user of it. I use it, in my opinion, the way that it's intended to be used, which is, hey, you're in my way. Hey, you're coming over and you should. Hey, I'm here. Not, you're an at. Yeah, you know. Here's my mic if I want to talk. Issue a command to the computer. Turn signals, volume control, previous and next song or track. It just makes sense. Press your windshield washer or your windshield wiper button here, and this is how you tell it what speed you want. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 auto. It makes complete sense to me. It's simple. Yeah, that's what I think. Anyway, let me know what you think. Do you like the Yoke? Do you like the simplistic, all my controls are here? Or do you prefer the old stocks? All right, we are in Ardmore, Oklahoma. I could be wrong. This might be the home of Dolly Parton. No, it's not. I think that might be Atoka. I don't remember. One of these small Oklahoma towns that starts with an A. I think I might sit at our last charging station a little bit longer. I'd prefer to get to my destination with about 20% remaining, just in case we run into a no EV charger available situation. I don't want to deal with that tomorrow morning when I head out from the hotel. So the Saramonic 500 Blink comes with these little microphone receivers here. And when I'm recording these videos, I clip it to my seatbelt because I think it creates really clear audio. However, regardless of how much I remind myself, I always forget that it's there when I go to get out of the car. And what happens is I unbuckle the seatbelt and it retracts into the pillar and my microphone receiver goes flying. So I've relocated it here underneath the camera, and I'm very hopeful that the audio is good enough on the video. If it's not, maybe I'll do some time lapsing and throw in some audio overlay. Let me know in the comments what microphones you're using for your action cams and what has worked well for you. So off in the distance here, you can see, or I can see, I don't know what you can see. It'll be fun to check it out. You have these windmill farms. These things are enormous. Tons of wind energy produced out here in Oklahoma. When we get up on it, you should be able to see a couple of them up close. They're pretty cool. Turn this off for a bit. I find it distracting. I like this view. That view's handy in like city driving, traffic. Let's see where our suspension is. Suspension's low. I think the last time I had a conversation with Grok about this, Grok indicated that the default setting was medium. And I have not observed that to be the case. Every time I check it, it is on low. I wish it would tell you here on this screen what your clearance is at each level. Might be fun to know that. FSD is in comfort. I wonder if that's the best. I like it. So the windmills are coming into view here a bit better now. Might zoom in on the screen there. They are massive. If you've ever seen one of the blades going down the highway on an 18-wheeler, it's massive. Springer, Oklahoma. If you are watching this from Springer, Oklahoma, give me a shout out. Time for a window wash. I might try to find. They have, they have the I don't know if they call them wind screens that go over the windows on the front. I don't like the way they look, but maybe I can find like a very small one. Anytime I do that, the windshield washer fluid runs down the side of the window, and it leaves a streaks all down the windows on both sides. I'd like to prevent that from happening. Look here now, so you get a really good close-up view of it. The thing is unbelievably massive. Like that control box, that generator box, whatever they call it, is larger than an 18-wheeler. It's huge. Massive. Trying to get a little bit more cool air on the camera here. It is very comfortable in here with these tinted windows. Wheeler coming over. I wonder. No? I would have let you over there, big guy. FSD choosing to keep it at about 82. Not sure why. I think I'll move over in front of this truck to see if we can get some faster moving traffic coming through. 83. 82. So let's do that. One. We'll see if the traffic behind me wants to take the lead. $82 miles to go to our Supercharger destination. Those Supercharger stops really do break up the ride a bit. I don't even know how far we have to go outside of Oklahoma City. My guess is 5 hours. So probably then another 2.5 hours to the next Supercharger. and then we'll finish the drive in. It's perfect. It's great. Relaxing. Slow moving car here. Got faster traffic on the left, so we're going to hold. Slowing all the way down to, my goodness, maybe 65. No problem. FSD will politely navigate around. Get back up to cruising speed here. It's pretty out here. Wife and I went out to dinner last night. I think we headed out about 6:30, and the sun was nearing its setting position, so probably about here in the sky. And once we got to the restaurant, there was an alert that there were camera visibility issues. And so when I looked at it, it just looked like cameras that were looking at glare. So it seems that the sun does have an impact on certain positions during certain times of the day or certain conditions on the cameras on the front. All right, traffic slowing way down here. Big rig kind of blocking the traffic, wanting to get over. Nice boat. That looks like a lot of fun. And it looks extremely expensive. All right, slower moving traffic out of the way. Let's see where we go. Time and the miles just fly by when you're in FSD. Cruising along at 85. We still get past. So you can see here that it's kind of tracking our progress. And it just occurred to me, I don't know if it's tracking progress for the entire trip or just to the next supercharger. So we'll find out when we get to our next supercharger. Math tells me it's to the supercharger, but we'll see. we'll get out of the way. I wish FSD did a better job of that. It's like I don't want to think about it. Yeah, I think that's clearly to the supercharger. I can see a lot of mic feedback on the screen here. I think maybe from wind noise and road noise. So hopefully it's not too uh, messy on the video. I think it's time for conversations with Grok. Hey there, Grok.
Oh, hi. I see you're calling me by name. Nice to chat. Just so you know, I'm speaking as Ara, with that female voice vibe. What's on your mind? Want to dive deeper into Tesla stuff, or something totally different?
I'm always about Tesla, Ara. So we have an LTE connection here, which tells me we're going to have a hard time with this conversation. I've been thinking about putting Starlink in. I think that will solve some of this.
Sounds like that LTE connection is giving you a bit of a headache. Sorry to hear you're dealing with that choppy signal. Installing Starlink could definitely be a game changer, especially if you're in a spot where LTE struggles. Starlink satellite internet typically offers much faster speeds, anywhere from 50 to 220 Mbps download, and low latency, around 25 to 60 milliseconds, which is great for smooth conversations or streaming. To make it work well, you'll want to set up the Starlink dish with a clear view of the sky, avoiding trees or buildings that could block the signal. Weather like heavy rain or snow might occasionally affect it, but it's generally more reliable than spotty LTE. Plus, you could use your LTE as a backup with a router that supports multiple connections to avoid any hiccups. If you're thinking about Starlink to solve those connection woes, it's a solid choice, especially for rural or remote areas. Want me to walk you through what you'd need for setup or any specific benefits for your situation?
No, I think so. I'm thinking about the Starlink Mini, and I wonder if mounting it on the back glass of a Tesla Model X would be a good mounting spot for it. You know, it's kind of angled back there, so I wonder if it would have the view of the sky it needs.
Mounting a Starlink Mini on the rear black glass of a Tesla Model X is a creative idea, but there are a few things to consider to make sure it works well. The rear glass on the Model X is angled, which could help with sky visibility, but the Starlink Mini needs a wide, unobstructed view of the sky, about a 110-degree field of view, to connect reliably to satellites. Here's the breakdown. The rear glass might work since Starlink signals can pass through most types of glass, including tinted windows, without much interference. Some Tesla owners have reported good performance placing the Mini on the rear glass, with minimal signal loss from defog wires or tint, achieving 99% connectivity on long trips. The angle of the rear glass could actually be a plus, as it naturally tilts upward, helping the dish see more of the sky compared to a flat surface. However, there are challenges. The Mini's wide field of view means that the car's roof or falcon wing doors could partially block the signal, especially if you're parked in a way that the car itself obstructs the northern sky, where Starlink satellites are often located in North America. You'll want to test the placement to ensure no part of the car gets in the way. Also, the rear glass isn't as ideal as the roof or a panoramic glass roof for maximum sky exposure, where owners have had success using suction cut mounts or custom brackets. For mounting, you could use something like a suction cup mount, like the Savage UTV Stealth mount, which is designed for glass surfaces and keeps the dish secure. Some owners have also used 4 strong suction cups with bungee cords in an X shape for a DIY solution. Just make sure the mount is sturdy to avoid movement while driving, and consider adding weather stripping to prevent vibrations against the glass. One last thing, power. The Mini needs about 60 W, so you'd need a 12V cigarette adapter or a portable power bank, like an EcoFlow Delta 2, as the Tesla's USB ports won't cut it. You could hardwire a power solution to the car's 12V outlet for convenience. To sum it up, the rear black glass could work if you ensure a clear sky view and secure mounting, but the roof or front glass roof might be better for optimal signal. Want me to dig into any specific mounting products or power setups for this?
No, I'm just curious. So, as I said, we're in a Model X. Where would you recommend that I mount it? In the Falcon Wing door roof? I'm definitely not mounting it on the front windshield. So now we're reading 5G here.
Got it. You're working with a 5G connection, but it sounds like it's still spotty enough to frustrate you. 5G can be super fast, potentially 100 ABPs to over 1 GBPs in ideal conditions, but its reliability often depends on your proximity to a tower.
I want to be able to
like buildings
interject here. Yeah. So where, like I was asking, where would you recommend that I mount the Starlink Mini in a Model X Tesla? Yeah, this is a bit challenging. That's unfortunate. All right. All right, where would you recommend that I mount a Starlink Mini in a Tesla Model X?
Mounting a Starlink Mini in your Tesla Model X is a great way to boost connectivity, especially with that shaky 5G you're dealing with. Based on what's worked well for others, here are the top spots to consider. Glass roof, interior. The most popular and effective location is mounting the Starlink Mini under the glass roof, typically toward the rear for a clear sky view. The glass in the Model X doesn't significantly block satellite signals, and users report solid performance, with download speeds averaging 80 to 200 Abps. You can use a suction cup mount, like the Contron X mount, or 4 heavy-duty suction cups with bungee cords in an X shape to secure the dish. This keeps it protected from weather and drag while maintaining a clean look. Falcon Wing door glass, interior. Another option is mounting
All right, so I think we're not going to be able to do conversations with Grok right now. We'll come back to that another time. Put this back up on max, and we'll bump down to chill because we're in a work zone again. We'll try the conversations with Grok again here in a little bit. Oh, wow. Still so chill, and we're still up at 78. Didn't slow down the way that I thought it would. That's interesting. Okay. Let's try again. I want to learn more about Tesla's FSD. I'm running FSD 13.2.8.
Nice. You're diving into Tesla's full self-driving with version 13.2.8 on your 2023 Model X. That's cutting-edge stuff. Since you're on 5G but struggling with connectivity, I'll keep this concise and focused to make sure we get through. FSD Supervised 13.2.8 is part of Tesla's latest push toward advanced driver assistance. And here's the lowdown based on what's out there. First off, what's FSD 13.2.8? It's a supervised version, meaning it can handle complex driving tasks like navigating city streets, roundabouts, and highways, but you still need to stay alert and ready to take over. It's not fully autonomous yet. Think of it as a super smart co-pilot. Key features. Start from park. You can engage FSD right from a parked position by pulling the drive stalk down once, as long as driver requirements, like pressing the brake, are met. Siren recognition. It detects emergency vehicle sirens and can display alerts, with an option to share sound detection data to improve safety features. Camera visibility detection. If cameras, like the 9 on your Model X, get blocked, you'll get a notification, and images can be reviewed in the service menu. Dynamic routing. It adjusts routes around road closures or traffic, pulling data from Tesla's fleet. Weather and map upgrades. Includes precipitation maps and destination weather info for better trip planning.
I have a clarifying question.
Performance feedback.
No?
Folks on X report mixed experiences with 13.2.8. Some rave about flawless 50-mile drives through rain, construction, and heavy traffic without disengagements. Others note issues like hesitation on right turns, lane changes veering off, or occasional takeover immediately warnings. One user called it reliable for 98% of drives, but tricky when finding parking. Your Model X. With 9 cameras and likely hardware 4, AI 4, you're getting high-res visuals and robust processing. The cabin camera also monitors driver attention to ensure you're staying engaged. Caveats. It's still beta-like, so expect occasional glitches. For example, some report it misjudging oncoming traffic or struggling with precise lane keeping. Always be ready to intervene, as Tesla emphasizes. Since you're running 13.2.8, have you noticed anything specific about how it's performing, like smooth sailing or quirky moments? If you want tips on optimizing it, like settings tweaks, or details on what's coming next, like FSD unsupervised rumors, let me know. And if that 5G connection acts up, I can keep answers short or focus on what's most urgent for you. What's your next question?
So let's try another experiment here. Hey there, ChatGPT.
Hey, what's up?
So I was just having a conversation with Grok about Tesla's FSD, and she told me that the FSD computer can dynamically reroute based on traffic conditions that it receives from the Tesla fleet. Can you expand on that?
Sure. The FSD computer in a Tesla uses data from the entire Tesla fleet to help navigate. When other Teslas drive, they send data about road conditions, traffic, and obstacles to Tesla's servers. That information gets processed and sent back to each car, allowing your car to make better decisions like rerouting based on real-time traffic or avoiding construction. It's like having a collective driving intelligence.
That's pretty cool. I did not know that. I'm thinking about putting a Starlink Mini in my Model X. This is a 2023 Model X. Where in the Model X would you recommend that I mount the Starlink Mini?
A Starlink Mini in your Model X? Nice. For the best placement, you'd want to ensure it has a clear view of the sky, so the roof area is ideal. You could consider mounting it near the rear section or using a roof rack. Just ensure it's secure and the cables are safely routed to avoid damage.
All right, so Grok said the same thing, but here's my problem. The Model X doesn't really have near the rear. There's the Falcon wing doors there. And I don't think I would want to mount the Starlink Mini in the roof glass of the Falcon wing door. I'm thinking about placing it at the top of the rear window.
Got it. Mounting near the Falcon Wing doors would be tricky. The top of the rear window could be a good alternative, especially if you can keep the antenna stable and ensure the cable management is neat. It might not be a perfect view of the sky, but it should still work well. Just make sure it's secure so it doesn't shift around.
Okay, very good. Hey, let's talk a little bit about FSD and the Tesla FSD AI. I want to understand a bit more about the decisions the car is capable of making, right? Like, as an example, can it learn about things that it observes on a regular route, a new lane closure, or what is it capable of learning and doing on its own between OTA software updates?
Tesla's FSD AI can learn from each drive. It adapts to new lane closures, construction, or temporary road changes using its onboard sensors and cameras. It recognizes patterns and can adjust to those, but more significant changes or broad learning still come from over-the-air updates. On its own, it can handle routine changes, but Tesla continuously improves its performance with new data from the fleet.
Do you have any new information about the spring update that's supposed to be coming out?
The 2025 spring update includes adaptive headlights that reduce glare, blind spot camera feeds on the driver screen for newer Model S and X, alternative trip plans and navigation, and side cameras recorded in dashcam and Sentry mode. Definitely some useful improvements.
I agree. When can we expect to see that?
The spring update started rolling out on April 15th, 2025. You might see it soon if it's not already on your car.
Yeah, it's not. I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. It should be a great update. Anything specific you're most excited about?
Yeah, I want to see the blind spot indicators on the driver cluster. I think that'll be super helpful.
Yeah, that sounds really handy. It'll definitely give you more awareness of what's around you. Plus, having it right in your line of sight is super convenient.
I would also really love a visual FSD on the large screen in the Model X. That'd be cool. I love that view on the 3Y and Cybertruck.
That would be awesome. The bigger display in the Model X would make it even more immersive. It's probably something Tesla could add in a future update, especially since people love that view in the other models.
What can you tell me about the computer that's installed in this 2023 Tesla Model X, the one that's used for the brain? What do you know about it? I want to know about like processing power and memory and things like that.
The 2023 Model X comes with Tesla's full self-driving computer, also known as Hardware 3. It features a custom-designed chip by Tesla with...
Let me interrupt you right there. This model has Hardware 4.
Gotcha. Hardware 4. That's even more powerful. It offers improved processing capabilities and more robust neural network performance compared to Hardware 3. Plus, it has more cameras and upgraded sensors, which give it a better understanding of the environment around the car.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, so I really want conversations with Grok to be a thing, right? Kind of sticking with the Tesla theme. But it is my opinion that ChatGPT is just better. ChatGPT voice, it's smoother, it's more human-like, it's just easier to deal with. It seems to handle the poor connectivity a bit better than Grok does. So for me, like ChatGPT right now is just better. And I know that Tesla's making a significant investment in their supercomputers that are driving their AI models. But ChatGPT is just easier and better. So I think that's what I'll use for our conversations from now on. Also, Grok wouldn't let me like talk. When she or Ara, she would say she was talking about um, dynamic rerouting based on the Tesla fleet. That's the first I'd heard of that, um, and I wanted to kind of dive a little deeper into that, but she wouldn't let me. She wouldn't let me jump in there. ChatGPT did let me. I had to say it a couple of times, but I'm able to kind of interject and then, control the conversation a bit better. All right, so we are about 36 miles outside of our next supercharger in Oklahoma City. Should be there in about 45 minutes, and we are in, what is that? Purcell, Oklahoma. Purcell. Let me hear from you if you're watching from Purcell, Oklahoma. That looks like a sheriff, so we will bump this back down a little bit. Let's set it at 75. I don't know what the speed limit is. Maybe it's 70. I don't know. It says 70. Let's go down to 74. That would not be fun. That is 70. Let's go to 73. Let's see how this shakes out. Glad I saw him. Really? You're gonna flash at me? There's literally a sheriff right there. Fine. I will gladly move over and see how you handle this situation there, tough guy. Both of you. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go right ahead. I mean, he could be off duty, maybe doesn't care. I do. I'm not trying to get a ticket. I mean, it might make for some good content on the YouTube channel, but we'd prefer to avoid that situation. Put it back up at 75. He doesn't seem too concerned with the other truck driving as fast as he is. Remember, I told you that this lane is for passing only, so if I don't get out of the way here soon, you could get me for that, if not speeding. All right, and the sheriff is exiting, so off duty, headed home. Not interested in the speeders, so let's bump it back up to 85 and rock and roll. Adjust the camera just a little bit here for you. Looks like it might have rattled out of position a bit. See how that looks. Yes, I am aware. Thank you. So, thank you, Tess. You caught me looking at another screen. I've also got out-of-state plates, so that's not helpful. It's interesting to me though. So when the sheriff came up on the highway there, I slowed down. The truck behind me flashed me to move out of the way, which is interesting. I don't know. Do you all slow down when you see a police officer? Or you see police on the road and do you slow down or no? I don't know. I do. I just think that makes sense. Yeah, so this route burn down here is definitely to the supercharger, right? I mean, and you can see, I think we started off at 32%. Now we'll be at 28%. So that's the other reason that I don't like my arrival energy to be 10%. I think 15% is probably the right level, because conditions can change. "30 miles out from the supercharger." And the placement of this phone holder here might be a problem when I do get the spring update. I don't know what part of the screen real estate is going to be used for the blind spot camera. Probably right where it's at. We'll see. I have tried it here. Makes it hard to charge. I've attached it to the back of the screen and it fell off. So, I don't know. Yeah, so there's some tire tread there. It's not really a big deal. It's in the middle of the road, but no attempt at all to slow down or move around it. It didn't need to be fair. I get it, but I don't know. So it looks like we're about to run into some traffic here just outside of Oklahoma City. We've got 27 miles to go and 37 minutes to get there, so that tells me we're going to be less than 60 miles per hour up here for a little while. It is 6 p.m., so probably on the tail end of rush hour in Oklahoma City. I'm not certain. A little smaller than the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so I wouldn't expect traffic to be as bad. It'll be 68 degrees on arrival at my final destination, in case you were wondering. Speed limit's 55, we're doing 80. That's a little ridiculous, but we are going with the flow of traffic. I would be curious to see how that conversation would go in court. And I'll need it. You know what? As a matter of fact, let's just have another conversation with ChatGPT about that before I go making assumptions. Well, hello there, ChatGPT.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, so I have another FSD question for you.
Sure. What's your question?
So I have my max speed offset on the autopilot menu set to 50%, and then there's an additional offset of 5 miles per hour. Can you break down what that means for me, please?
Absolutely. The max speed offset lets you set a percentage above the speed limit that autopilot can go. So
Could you repeat that, please? Yeah, connectivity issues. I'm getting the Starlink. This won't be a problem in future videos. Yep, I know. Hey, ChatGPT.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Yeah, so I don't know if you still have context. I had to reset the connection. Can you finish answering the last question about the speed offset?
Sure. The speed offset feature in Tesla's FSD lets you set a buffer above the speed limit. For instance, if the speed limit is 60 miles per hour and you set a 5 miles per hour offset, the car will aim for 65 miles per hour. It's useful for keeping pace with traffic while still being aware of limits.
Why is there a mile per hour offset and a percentage offset? Hey there, are you still there?
Yep, I'm you. What's up?
Yeah, so why is there a percentage offset and a mile per hour offset? Are you there? Okay. So if I can buy a Starlink Mini somewhere locally, like Best Buy, that I'll have that somewhere in this video at some point. That I love the concept of being able to have conversations with AI during these videos, but I need it to work. Like it's got to work. That's the thing. Anyway, so what I'm trying to figure out is, or what I wanted to ask was, if the offset considers the flow of traffic. And if that's true, then could I win in a court of law if I got pulled over for speeding if I'm using technology that limits itself to the flow of traffic, right? In other words, I can prove that I was going with the flow of traffic because that's what the car does. So that's what I wanted to get out of the conversation, but I couldn't because connectivity's bad. This is the first time I've observed this little indicator down here. It just popped up and let me know that I should be in these 3 lanes. So here and down here. Not to say that it hasn't been there. It's just the first time I've noticed it. So it's telling me to stay in the left 3 lanes, which I don't particularly care about because FSD's doing it. Norman, Oklahoma. Looks like it's about 20 miles outside of Oklahoma City. Norman, Oklahoma. Shout out if you're in Norman, Oklahoma. And there's the traffic. Cool. It's so funny to hear me say cool. Like if you know me, which you don't, but whatever. I hate traffic. Man, it's like, how many lanes do you need on a highway? Why can't people just follow the rules? Yada, yada, yada. I could go on and on and on. But in FSD, it just doesn't bother me at all. It doesn't bother me. I am so chill. Like, it doesn't bother me at all. And it looks like we're going to have a pretty good stop here. So if we're 18 miles out, 31 minutes away, that's going to put us, what, 40 miles an hour on average for that distance. It reroutes based off of Tesla fleet info. That's cool. I did not know that. Big old Dodge diesel there. Actually, so I sold a 2024 F350 trimmer to buy this car. And I have no regrets about that. Okay, cool. So I wasn't wrong. I mean, we've got zero miles per hour here. So some stop and go Oklahoma City traffic here. Okay, break time, perhaps? Yeah, break time. Curious. All right. I'm here. Yeah. Maximum speed limit, right. So it asks for you to touch the wheel, and I scroll here instead, and sometimes it chirps back at me, and it's like, maximum speed limit's already set. Okay, thank you. Elon, if you're watching, man, when can we get a little bit of a break on the Nag here? Yeah. Tension monitoring is active. So it goes inactive, and it'll tell me why. Driver's face is blocked by hat. If I'm wearing sunglasses at night, it usually has a problem. I'm surprised that it's not smarter than that, right? Like, if you have a hat on, even if it's covering your eyes, you can tell that I'm looking forward. So we've got about 110 miles left range, and we will arrive at the Supercharger with 29%. Which, if you do the math on that, let's see here. Just to make it easy, let's say the range is 300. It's like 330. So 10% is 30 times 3 to get us to 30%, 90. So we'll have about 90 miles range. More accurately, probably 99. And you can see, let's see here, 17, 110 minus 17, 93. So somewhere in there, somewhere between 90 and 100 miles is 30%. I'm still not very good at gauging that, like, especially since it tends to change. You might look at it and see that you have 110 miles, and then 10 miles down the road, you might have 80. So that's the way battery consumption works. But still, it's close enough, right? You can still develop some patterns with that. But I'm still not familiar enough with it yet. Like, if you have a quarter of a tank of gas in your car, you know what that means to you. You know about how far you can go. You know you can make it home from work. You just know what that means. I'm not there yet. I know it's written in plain English. 110 miles is 110 miles, but it's really like I have not experimented enough with that to know how true that is. Is it actually 70 as an example? I don't know. And I guess the truth is it doesn't really matter because like I said, I have the level 2 charger at home. So every night the car charges. I've got it on a schedule. It charges between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. And every morning when I leave, it's at 80%, and it's just never a problem. The only time I ever even think about it, there's two conditions. One, road tripping, you have to think about it. This trip today is north of 600 miles, so you have to kind of think about that. And the other situation is just a lot of driving, a lot of little running around. And I don't have very many days like that. I don't have very many days where I just do so much driving that I would burn down 80%, the battery. Haven't seen very many Teslas here in Oklahoma. So we've got about 2 hours and 20 minutes on the camera, and it's a little warm to the touch, but not hot. So I think the AC vent adjustment's really helping out there. Let's see what our ETA at our final destination is. 11:49, 5:49, 6 hours. 6 more hours to go. 6:08 for Oklahoma City, and then we've got almost 3 hours to El Dorado Supercharger. So everything looks like a pretty straight shot. Just kind of look at the screen here. Yeah, I think that's fine. Sometimes I wonder if it routes me out of the way significantly to hit certain superchargers, right? Like, be an interesting thing. But you heard, I don't remember if it was Grok or ChatGPT. One of them said the spring update's going to provide alternate route options in your nav. So I imagine I'll be able to then look at it and see, okay, so this one's an hour shorter. I'll bet. I don't know. Maybe similar. In any case, I mean, I'm not in a hurry. I don't have anywhere to be at a specific time. Oh, that's the lovely wife. Let's take that. All right, so let's see here. Oklahoma City, but we just passed the water tower for Moore, Oklahoma, which is the home of Toby Keith and also the deadly Moore, Oklahoma tornado. I don't remember what year that was. I would ask AI. You know what? Just can't help myself. Let's try it. What was the year of the deadly Moore, Oklahoma tornado?
The deadly Moore, Oklahoma tornado occurred in 2013. It was an EF5 tornado that caused significant damage.
All right, good enough. 2013. And over here to our left, you can see the Oklahoma City skyline here. Skyline, or what, one building? No, there's more than that. It's bigger than that. Let's get a little closer. All right, we're 10 minutes from our Supercharger in Oklahoma City. I wonder if it's going to take me down into the city. I hope not. Surely not. What do we got here? 8.6 miles. It's certainly possible. So interesting decision here. We have 1.9 miles to go to our exit. FSD shows to get back into the fast lane, which is fine. That sign said that 2 miles ahead, this is an exit only lane. I don't know how true that is. So what we'll do here is we'll likely ride the faster lanes until we get about a half a mile from our exit, sometimes a little shorter. FSD sure does like to wait until the last second before moving over for the exit. It hasn't really burned me yet. Now, on multiple occasions, FSD has missed the exits, but interestingly enough, not for that reason. Like, it just drives by it, and it's in the far right lane. I have not yet missed an exit because we wait so long before we begin to transition over for the exit. So 0.7 out starts working its way over. I also haven't seen a situation where it has not been able to successfully negotiate into heavy traffic. This is not heavy traffic, but it won't have a problem here. So we've got 0.3 miles. The map is still telling us to be in these 3 lanes, but that looks like my exit right there in 0.1 mile. No? All right, cool. Well, what do I know? I'm just a human. Oklahoma City off to my left here. I wish there was a way that I could easily just pan it and show it to you. Well, no need because the road's hooking around to the left. So coming into view here is Oklahoma City. Look at that. That's a gorgeous view of the city. Got the sun high in the sky. Does look like it's going to take me down near the city center for this supercharger, which I'm completely okay with. Speed limit 60, we're cruising along at 75 miles per hour. Interesting pattern on the camera there. Can't say that I've noticed that before. .1 miles from our supercharger destination. Not going to be downtown, which is fine. Not mad about it, not mad about it. I always did find it quite funny that Tesla was like, let's put 9 cameras on this car, but not a front-facing camera that the driver can use. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. Can't do that 10th camera. I want to do that. That's overkill. So this is right at 3 hours from Denton. If I subtract the time that we stopped to eat, that's 20 minutes or so. So we've got a rolling camera for about 2 hours and 41 minutes here. And we are arriving at our supercharger in Oklahoma City. So 2 hours, 41 minutes straight drive time. Add back in the stop and we're right at 3 hours, 15 minutes. Wow. FSD got super close to the Kia there. Supercharger is going to be up here on the left. I know absolutely nothing about where we are or where it is. And I did mention that I'm probably going to hang out here a little bit longer than what it recommends. We have a 19-minute, 18-minute charge, but I want to set my arrival destination. I'm going to bump that up to 15%. Oh, no. we can do it here. So we won't stay longer here. We'll stay longer at El Dorado so that I can get better arrival energy there. Flip this back around, put us in a position. Why did that come up? There we are. Oh, I don't know where the friendly hello came from or why. I didn't see anything happening there. Yep, I see them. Okay, there they are. Looks like they're just on the back end of this grocery store here. Very slow moving oncoming traffic, so FSD decides to go ahead and pull in. Now I am going to take it here because we never know what the Tesla wants to do. So we have all kinds of pedestrians. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Let's go to that one. That's not even an electric vehicle, I think. Just parking here. Okay. This is great. Okay, so we have arrived. Again, drive time is 2 hours, 44 minutes. Total travel time is probably 3 hours, 15 minutes from Denton, Texas to Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. And that's going to conclude this leg of the trip. We'll pick the video back up once we're done charging. And we'll do another video from Oklahoma City to Kansas City, Missouri. So make sure you tune into that one. I will put a link in the video if I can. I haven't done that before. That will take you to that leg of the trip if you are interested in following along for the rest of the journey. As always, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.